Anyway, back to doing what we were doing. This one did not survive the storm very well. All right? So if you're going to be washing books, if you have a whole stack of them, you better have some help because otherwise it gets a little difficult. But in the meantime, this one's a little smelly. Okay, my kids have pointed out to me how smelly it actually really is. But if you notice, it doesn't have no mold on it. So it's a combination of sitting in water for about a week. Mind you, when I got them, they were wet, right? And they were already starting to mold. It's just I have a pretty busy, active household, so I don't get to do the things I like to do all the time. Not that washing books is one of my things, but anyway, this will be good for cut up. So as you can see, I've started to separate the pages, right? But this one here, I don't know. It didn't separate very well. But all in all, there will be some pages in here that the kids can cut up. Like this here, they can cut up and glue it into a book. And this is a nice picture. So this one here we can cut up and we can glue it and they can do a little story and then we can always Mod Podge over it or something like that. So there's another one they can cut up, and then here's a little something that they can cut up and take home. This is for smaller children, right? So this is definitely going to be a cut up book for sure. And that's pretty much why I brought them home, because I thought, well, they're either going to sit out in the bush and totally mold away and be useless for nothing, or I could bring them home and try and salvage them, which I'm doing, and then the children can use it to cut up and make stories around or whatever. So let's go back to where we were, and just to give you a quick idea of that's nice and vibrant. Okay, these books there won't go on. Now we're going into here. So but because these ones are a little smelly, or at least this one is, and that's only because it sat in the water for a long time. And the paper itself has glue. So that's what you're smelling. So you take it like this. Again, some of these are sticking. And right now I'm using a little bit of Febreze on this one. I kind of rub it in. Okay, and then we're going to take the... And then I hold the page like this. And I dry on both sides, right? Show people. Like that. You can see the words, right? The other side of the moon. Make sure you have the whole thing, right? You kind of dry them enough so that they don't go back together and stay together. You don't have to dry the page completely, because the more you dry the page, it starts to wrinkle up, right? So at this point, you only dry enough just to be able to have them not sticking together, because there is a coating on these pages. Visit to the moon. Look, there's astronauts. Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Edwin Aldrin. July 20th, 1969. I guess that's when they went to the moon. They were the first 3 men, eh? Okay, well, you don't have to act stupid, okay? See, show you, because you're just ruining it, right? this one here. So, some of it didn't survive. So then what I do is I turn this off. And before I go on, I try and separate them. Now, mind you, this is not something I do all the time, okay? I only came across these books, and I know Childcraft has a lot of good information. And, you know, for some of the things that I do, for the kids to cut it up, like this, like here, this is kind of nice. Life on Mars, eh? You know, for them to cut it up and put it in their picture book or make a story around it, it works for me. And I thought, you know, who would think that you could actually wash a book? Not too many people would think about washing a book, you know. So, technically, these books should have been donated to a thrift store. They should never have ended up in the bush down the road. I don't know why they ended up there, but they did. But whoever put them there should have taken them to the thrift store and donated them to the thrift store. And in this way, I wouldn't have to be washing them right now. But if anyone ever thinks that they can't wash a book, don't let people tell you you can't, because you can. This one didn't fare very well because, like I said, they've been sitting in my house for about a month now. And I'm down to my last two books. This one and the other one that's in the plastic bag right now. And we'll start washing the other one in a couple of days when I have a little more time. And because I'm going to separate the pages, it should be fine. And then you just go back, hold the page up. I'm going to go both sides, a little stinky. So we'll just spray it down with a little bit of Febreze. If you see, though, there's no mold. So anything that you're smelling right now is probably just wet paper, the coating on the paper itself. Childcraft, this is 1979. I'm pretty sure it's 1979. Really good ink, good paper, you know. Looks really good. Okay, you can turn it off for now and we'll come back.